What a song and a half. What a fucking song and a half. So we're done there. Why is it so fucking ridiculously hot today? I thought summer was over, but here we are in the car sweating again. It should be frozen outside, but here we are. Minty seems to be the only one in chat, but we got live 6 viewers, so I don't know what the fuck that's about. I bet Lucas is in here, not saying shit. Miller's probably here, doesn't think he has to say anything. And who knows who else? Maybe some Robo, maybe some rock and roll. You're really trying to make chat look active, Minty says. Whatever. So you've been making sure Lucas says, I'm here, I was fucking right. Asteroid Chimp's here. Bacon said he was going to show up since his university shit got cancelled, so he might be in stream. We'll give him a little while to come in, though. So have you been making sure to stay inside? Yes, because I've been in self-quarantine for the last 18 months, alright? This ain't nothing new. So yes, Asteroid says what up, and Lucas says I'm here. So must have been difficult for you. Alright. We got some shit to get into today. Fuck! So I guess we should go over the video first. That's what I put at the top of the title, I think. And is Miller here yet? If Miller is here, he needs to come out of hiding, because we do have Full Metal Alchemist to talk about. And maybe we'll save it in case Bacon does show up. Whew, still on like 100 miles an hour. We need to calm down a little bit. So we uploaded this fucking video that's been in production for at least 2 months. I know I finished editing the audio of this over 2 months ago. When I finished editing the Berserk version of this video, that was the patron bonus video, like not last month, but the month before. So fuck me, this thing has been in editing hell for 2 months and it's finally done. I did most of it in like 2 days towards the end there, so I wasn't even working on it like hard throughout. It was just a bunch of fuckery. 11 upvotes, 0 new patrons, by the way, so fuck you. We will do that patron revamp. I've decided we are going to do that with the 2 tiers, just the $1 and the $5 one. The comments were fine. I don't remember anything. Me and Jojo went back and forth for a little while. I don't remember any dumb comments on the video, but it is doing very well. So it's nice to see that like this video that had been tormenting me for 2 months, like basically overperformed in views and likes and response and watch time and all that sort of stuff. It's done pretty fucking great. Also, Minty, I need your expert analysis on the thumbnail of this video. I think it's pretty good. Let's talk about how wrong the video is. Uprising #1, baby. That's a bit of a yikes for me, but, I mean, you're allowed to have your own opinion, bro. Look at this. 1 day ago, nearly 700 views. That's good stuff. Look, we got Crying Yumiya, Eren about to kill Bertolt, Titan over here, Annie, Lumen over Eren. Pretty decent thumbnail, if you ask me. Wade, actually, can you talk about how the big difference is between the rankings? This is actually a great point, and I think I did put this in my notes, but we will talk about this in a second. Hold on, let me finish this. I've got a feeling you think they're close enough that you could make an argument for either of the later ones being #1. Actually, the exact opposite. Bit of a yikes for me, says the guy who hates memes. Fuck you. It's okay, but there's a contrast between the pictures. I definitely agree with that also. But I like it. It looks better blown up more than it does like reduced down. But it's got 700 views, so what the fuck am I complaining about? And the text would have helped. But where the fuck would you possibly put text here? I should have like whited out the 2 text boxes here, though. I definitely agree with that. And like I think I should do that for my thumbnails. I don't know. The I Want Wings makes sense for this one, but the rest of them, have a recognizable image from one of the arcs. For 2 arcs. Yeah. Hold on. No, these... I guess these are both female Titan arc pictures. This one's Clash, and this... No, it's not. This one's Return to Shinganshina, and this one's the latest one. With the best and worst above them. Yeah, that's... you're saying that's what it should be for the thumbnail. Okay, and best and worst above them. Ugh. Something controversial. I think... The thing I liked about the Eren Father thumbnail is that there's a good contrast. I don't know. Looking at this thumbnail now, it's pretty good, yeah. I'd say so. With the black and white, that would be a clickbait thing. But dignity, integrity, etc. They're always getting in the way, those things. So in this, I feel like the gap between #2 and #1 is like monumental. Like I legitimately still think that like pre-current Marley / whatever the new arc is called, Attack on Titan, it was baby pissy shit. I think it was just like a random shonen, pretty good 7 out of 10 until this arc. And I think this arc makes everything before it infinitely better. Because I did not... There was a time when I was younger where I thought Attack on Titan was like the best. Then I sort of fell off and was like, when we got into like... When the Return arc was coming out, it was sort of like... And then I sort of fell off towards the end of that, and the beginning of the Marley arc, I wasn't really into it that much. Like, I'd read it every month, though there was a period where I didn't read it for a few months, and that was in, like, the middle of the Return to Shinganshina arc. I think, yeah, it was like the ones before Bertolt transforms in the Return to Shinganshina arc. I remember I had, like, 3 chapters to read before the next one came out, and since then I haven't missed one, and before that I hadn't missed any. But, like, I remember even at chapter 100, I still wasn't sold. Like, I remember, because I used to do the website back then, and I remember thinking, like, I'm pretty sure I wrote a thing called The Characters in Attack on Titan Are Bad, and I remember thinking that. I remember thinking, like, the dialogue is terrible in Attack on Titan, and the characters are bad, and it's only the plot that's any good. Obviously, I've massively transformed on all of these, and I really wasn't paying that much attention at the time. But, like, the most recent arc is really, like, I don't think... Because even when I started the channel, I didn't think Attack on Titan was as good as Vinland Saga. And I definitely think it's way better than Vinland Saga now. Berserk is still better than both of them by a wide margin, I'd say. But yeah, I definitely like Attack on Titan more now than I ever have. Maybe except for when I very initially got into it. But because of that... I feel like the gap between 1 and 2 is the biggest gap between any of them. I think the first arc is easily the worst, and then I think Female Titan through Return to Shinganshina are all pretty great, and pretty the same. But I think the number 6 and number 1 are like the 2 biggest gaps in that. I don't think what Minty was speculating in chat that like Female Titan through the rest could be number 1. I don't think that at all. Let's scroll back up. It's just Minty in chat. What the fuck? Like, people do tier list thumbnails when they make fake controversial ranking for the thumbnail. Yeah, but I got a little gimmick going on with that, and it's easy, and I get to use the same thumbnail outline for each tier list video, so that's good, and I like that a lot. That's minimal work right there. And zoom in on the audience, and yeah, about the S&D tier, wow. Minty says, wow, I think the current arc is okay, but kind of epic for me. Was the 118/119 your moment? No, it was definitely before that. I don't know. I never did a big reread. I definitely think when I started the Jägermaster plan, I realized how good the current arc was, and that was actually after 118. I don't know when the switch happened. I feel like it might have been the Ymir chapter where I'm like, okay, this shit is fucking spectacular. I remember something clicked in me when I read the Ymir chapter, and I was like, Attack on Titan really, like, does this often. Like, it's so good in, because my going into the Ymir thing, my big talking point was that Ymir never existed and that it was a creation myth, and that was going to be the big reveal. That, like, it never happened like that, Titans just always existed or something like that, and it wasn't going to be an actual backstory with an actual deity. Which, that sort of happened, like, it was a creation story, and it was ambiguous, and it was, like, probably not entirely true, but it was also, like, very, like, the god that everyone had built up. Like, I can't wait to see Ymir, the original Ymir. It's going to be so epic and cool, bro. And that was just a little girl who had couldn't fight for herself to save her fucking life and was just a complete pushover. And that was incredibly sympathetic, and we love her for that. But that's not what people expected going in. And I feel like this version of, like, actually, from my side, yes, Ymir did exist, but from the other side, like, she wasn't this badass, like, fucking killer god deity from the beginning or whatever. It was like a double subversion in the middle there where it was like different than anyone could have expected, and no one saw this coming, and it was like fucking Isayama did it again. And sort of clicking when that happened, it clicked to me like retroactively that he's done this since the beginning, and it's all so good. I did reread the Uprising arc right before that part came out in the anime. And then I did read everything for there, so maybe it was that moment where I realized, like, oh, it's actually good. Like, it's not just something that I like because I started it when I was a kid and I sort of stuck with it. I think that might have been it. I'm just remembering that now. because right before Season 3 came out, I reread the Uprising arc, and then I kept going. So maybe that was the time, but yeah, it was something like that. Jojo was in here, oh no, but fuck, I gotta scroll up a shit. Chat exploded incoming, Minty says. I nearly said it. I would read Berserk, but I'm scared of boobies. Well, I don't know. Berserk can be scary, and it can be for the boobies. There are some booby monsters. I disagreed when you said Mikasa needs a flashback to be interesting in the first arc, by the way. That's not what I said. I said instead of getting a character arc, like every other character got a generic character arc in the first arc, Mikasa got a backstory instead of a character arc. That wasn't supposed to be, that was better. That was supposed to be a diss on Mikasa's character, so I don't know if you misinterpreted that. It's kind of like anime fans who think they're smart just because they're well versed in tropes being a flashback for character development. How bad? Well, that's not what I said. I was saying that the flashback was instead of character development, and it was bad. Like, Mikasa was worse than the rest of them because at least the other ones had a character arc. But Mikasa didn't. She got a flashback instead, and Isayama thought that was enough. Especially in the beginning of the story when nothing had been established about her. How can you knock on a flashback? Wait, maybe Minty did. Like, I don't know what Minty's saying. I know if I misinterpreted what he was saying or he misinterpreted what I was saying, I'm sure he's going to claim, though, that I misinterpreted what he was saying. I've only read 11 volumes of Berserk, and I already like it more than Vinland and Attack on Titan. Interesting. Lucas is treading a thin line if he doesn't want to get spoiled in here, though. I don't think there's any Berserk topics on today, but you never know. It comes up. This is coming from someone who thinks Mikasa is the worst of the 104th barring Connie. So that's what he's saying, what Minty's saying. Okay. 123 is a better chapter than 122. This could not be a worse opinion that I ever seen from JoJo. 123 is like a nothing chapter. It's the flashback. No, we like that chapter. That's what made us like Mikasa. But it's definitely not better. Because I just remember the ending being Eren's like message or whatever, and I was like, whatever. I remember being disappointed the first time I read that chapter, but I definitely liked it more afterwards. I was also disappointed the first time I read 122, I think. Wait, I wasn't paying attention. You said it was before 119, but now you're talking about 122. Alright, this is an outdated comment. I don't even know what he's talking about. Mikasa is a trash character overall, lol. Thank God she can fight. I think Mikasa's good now. I like her now. The funny thing is I saw a theory about the original Ymir being a slave during one of the Paths chapters, but I never paid it any attention. Interesting. Hanji and the 104th are retarded for actively working towards Paradise's destruction. The Cringe Avengers will only win via plot contrivance or arse pull. I think JoJo is being sarcastic, but who knows. Miller says, I'm here, which is good. I don't care about spoilers, Lucas says. This is why Lucas has the biggest dick in chat. For that comment alone. She did have an arc, though. What are you talking about? She got a flashback and character development. Misinterpreted me like all the time. Don't listen to Minty. Fake news. Also, what was her character arc in the first arc? I don't know. Fuck. I tried to drink, but the lid was still on. What the fuck is that shit? Miller is here, so we will talk about Full Metal Alchemist. Bacon is not here. I don't know if he's going to show up. We'll see. Fucking microphone's been on an awkward angle. No one complained about it, though. Interesting. Fuck you! Cunt! Microphone keeps fucking up. Stay in there. What the fuck is wrong with you? Huh? There we go. So what the fuck were we talking about? Oh, when I had a revelation with Attack on Titan, whatever. And then Minty said the thing about the rankings and how close they were, and then we talked about that. If Eren loses and Paradis survives, the manga will have failed, and so will Isayama. JoJo is literally the caricature of, like, everything we've been saying for, like, the last fucking... Everything the next Attack on Titan video is going to be about, which we're going to talk about because it's in the title. So 300%. Look at these metrics. Up 369% in viewership. 7-minute fucking average view duration. That's some real shit right there. Watch time hours, 82. Pretty fucking cool. This video did pretty fucking well. Yeah, what the fuck? Well, this was coming off the back of the Sopranos tier list. That is currently the least viewed video on the channel, I think. Hold on, look at this. Look at this big old spike right here in viewership. What was this for? That would have been when the chapter came out. So it's nice to get a little peek here. You know, the Attack on Titan content, it always be going through. Black Lagoon holding steady here too. Look at this, 680. Going well, son. Then Rock and Revy, getting up there. All right, no more channel analytics. We got a shit ton of things to talk about. We don't need to be stalling like this. Look at this fucking god tier video. But this is what makes their dynamic so unbearable. Is this? Brilliant. Fucking pause it, you dumb fuck. Look at this, nearly 4,000. It's gonna catch this fucking shitty Vinland Saga video that's actually at the top. What is this from? Raw wasn't today, was it? What day is it? Fucking Sunday. What the fuck is this? I never saw this, but whatever. Fuck, I gotta read chat now. Fucking chatters. The speech she gives to everyone is great. When she's subtly lashing out, her reaction to death is interesting. And then she chooses to live and then gets rewarded by Eren not actually being dead. With the little Eren thing. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I haven't watched that stuff in a while. I just thought it was a clever little Mikasa diss that I wrote into the script. Whatever, I hate Trostark anyway. I don't think Jojo guy is trolling. It sounds like it, lol. Yes, I don't think he's trolling either, but he's going to be a useful fool for our upcoming videos. That's good. Maybe... Fuck me, stop moving, chat. By the way, I feel like the other 2 times you've brought up this argument map thing, you've ended up giving up and saying you don't care about it anymore, so my theory is right. And this topic is just draining. Now, I just didn't want to do it on stream because fucking writing shit on stream. I already wrote out the outline and I've changed the whole idea of the video. That's why it says big. Oh, that's going to be nice and easy. Big update in the title. Now, I don't care too much about Eren winning. It's probably a better ending overall just due to how subversive and interesting it is. Less likely to pull through. I don't know. Subversive. Is it the subversive one at this point? I don't know. And I'm sure it'll be interesting no matter what it is. Is it subversive considering how many people go, Eren can't be stopped anymore while Minty's making the argument I just alluded to? I just can't see the cringe Avengers winning. The only realistic way, what a terrible word to use, realistic way to execute the peace ending is to have Eren destroy the world military before it gets taken down. This is obviously not going to happen. Paradis also has to retain the founder or they'll just get genocided. Eren has to have some alternative plan. If he actually wants to win, if his real plan is complete genocide, he's completely losing. Well, that seems to be the plan, unless he's doing the big old Itachi ending, which is looking more and more likely. I fucking hate you. I'm about to make a joke about, you know what? Don't do it. I was talking about to Kyle, not you, Jojo. Well, who cares? Fuck chat. We're caught up. So we're at 7 viewers now. Full Metal Alchemist boys, are you in here yet? Fuck, I had a great transition thing, and then I forgot it. So we're done with the arc ranking video. We talked about it a little bit. We can get out of the, let me see what I've written down, because I have I have to scroll up. I got so much shit to talk about. This Endless Just Dragon Ball video that I watched that was cool. My Uncharted playthrough was continued. I'm still playing through that. That's fun times. New Attack on Titan arc ranking video. Then I have some subset points here. Positive reception and big views for as long as I had to suffer to make this video. It's nice that it seems to have paid off. We talked about all of that. So let's fucking cross this off the shitty fucking list. Alright, get it out of there. Fuck me. Full Metal Alchemist manga, we gotta talk about that. Some good stuff to discuss there. Father is not the father. Genius. Pretty good stuff. Show the updated Attack on Titan arguments, title, and script. We'll do that. Game of Thrones stuff, Willy Tiber stuff, Patron, and that. Okay, so let's continue the Attack on Titan talk since we're doing it. Where's the USB? I deleted a bunch of stuff off this USB, so now we just have, other stuff. Let's bring this fucking shit up. Let me show you something, brother. Let me catch up. Fuck. Alright, let me go back to chat and catch up here. Press play, you fucking hack. Seems like you've gotten some juicy FMA stuff. We just got to the father reveal that father isn't their father, and I thought it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. It was such a Attack on Titan twist that recontextualized everything, and it was fucking great. But we'll talk about it in a second. By the way, I looked up Full Metal Alchemist spoilers, and Edward kills Simsar. I don't know who Simsar is, but okay. And Minty says, no, the Australian government got me banned from Twitch clickbait. I don't understand. Itachi ending wouldn't work in Attack on Titan, though. Eren being... The Itachi ending is almost certain now. I've been thinking about a few things, and we'll talk about Willy Tiber in a second, but I think the Itachi ending is almost certain and almost definitely the best possibility, and we'll talk about it here. Get these updates out of here. Look, we changed the title. We'll talk about this in a second. Eren being killed by some Paradisian Eldians wouldn't change the world's view on Eldians. The world's view on Eldians is not going to matter in the end. This doesn't matter. They want to genocide Paradis even more due to the posing such a great threat. Well, not if you, there'll be some fucking way it ties into everything. It's fine. We don't have to talk about this right now when we're literally about to talk about it. I don't want to talk about how it's going to end again for the 15th time. I'm proud I didn't spoil the Hohenheim being father for you. It actually was spoiled, but I didn't realize it had been spoiled until after I'd figured it out. Because I remember I mentioned before that I knew that I was watching a Semblance of Sanity video, and they talked about it, how it wasn't the generic thing of the father was actually the bad guy. But I just forgot it because I thought it was wrong, because it obviously is, and everything they've alluded to has led you to believe this. So I got fooled, even though I was spoiled. And then it wasn't a spoiler in the end, so that was interesting. What a great fucking twist. Just fucking so clever. It wouldn't just be that not being... the idea is people like Onyekapon, Magath, and Gabi and Reiner can vouch for the Paradisians. Yeah, because Magath controls all of Marley, and if Marley stands down, and they're supposed to be the historic enemies of the Eldians, and the rest of the world can take place, and Magath can just threaten them if they don't stop anyway. And ultimately, the hatred of the world towards Paradis can easily be thwarted. Like, literally, if they had enough money, they could just pay him off. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna... Oh, that's actually a little clever idea. They can use the materials, because the only reason Marley wants to invade Eldia is not because they hate Eldians. That was just a meme for the people to believe. It was actually because they wanted the resources, remember? So Paradis elects to sell off a lot of their resources and that special ice burst supernatural shit they have. Then they could buy off the rest of the world. There we go. There's the ending. The idea is yes, I read that one. Eren has to use a show of force to establish a dialogue for it to be realistic. This realistic word needs to go. Who cares? He can then... Is what you think is realistic is not exactly what is realistic. He can then die, I guess, but Ymir is still an interesting conundrum. Ymir doesn't exist anymore, alright? Oh, Minty, we gotta go through Twitter, because I did it. I had the argument that you wanted me to have, but you don't have Twitter, so you didn't see it. They don't even respect Reiner because he's Eldian. This is not true. Magath doesn't care. Part of his entire character arc is going to be learning to like Eldians. And Magath has full control of Marley. The rest of Marley does not matter. Only Magath's opinion matters. And he is very easily going to be swayed. The Australian government thing was because the COVID thing came up on your screen. Oh, did it? I didn't even see it. What? I meant Reiner and Gabi will be the ones that convinces the brainwashed Eldians about Paradisians. Brainwashed, he says. Magath will convince the Malayan and other boomers. Yes. Onyekapon will convince, those people. And obviously they have Kiyomi support and they can apply pressure. They have allies here. Make a Full Metal Alchemist video. I'm not finished yet. How am I going to make a video on it? They definitely have an audience for Full Metal Alchemist. Yes, I'm fully aware. Why I love Full Metal Alchemist. I will never make that video. What incentive does Magath have to help Paradis after Eren is killed? Because they're going to work together and they're going to become war allies against fucking Eren. It's pretty obvious. Plus, they've had this big conversation in the last chapter to put their stuff besides them, and he's going to realize it's not going to help anything if we just kill all the people I just made friends with. It makes sense for him to still go through with the genocide and recover the resources on Paradis. No, because no one wants to kill anybody. It's just not a subset. It's just a means to an end. If they can get the end anyway, in a more peaceful fashion, most people would go for that. Especially Magath, who doesn't even dislike Eldians. Only the Paradisians, and probably not even that. We saw the panel of him reaching out for Gabi. He's obviously got this father-daughter complex with the Gabi. And she can just, like, appeal to him anyway. Like, please don't do it, Mr. McGarth. And then he'll be like, okay. Because McGarth's character is clearly being set up to feel sympathetic towards the Paradisians, yes, this has been his character. Like, he literally wanted to make military service mandatory for Malays. That's one of the things that, like, he said as he was introduced to Willie Tybur. Conscription, that's what it's called, the draft for the Malays, because they only read about war in their newspapers, and he thought that was bullshit. And he has to know that if Paradis is defeated, the Eldians in Mali will be next. Oh yeah, Minty says. I don't know what he's oh yeah about. Oh, but him being sympathetic doesn't change the hatred of the rest of the world. We've never seen the rest of the world's hatred. It's just been implied, and it can be won over with money easily. And if McGarth says, fuck you, Mali will beat the shit out of you if you don't let him go, then what the fuck are they going to do? And it's not like the rest of the world. Like, it's probably not every single country was at the meeting where Eren killed a bunch of the big executives, and if they just say everything Eren did was by himself, then they can easily handwave that. And Gabby can deliver a big peaceful peace speech at the end and gather all the world. Like, maybe the last chapter is like the world leaders meet up and there's still some animosity towards the Paradisians, even though Eren's been defeated. And maybe, I don't know who it would be, choose a character, they give a big speech, and the rest, and all of the fucking big people are like, okay, we'll leave him alone. We still don't like him, but we'll tolerate him, or something like that. There's a million ways this could realistically be done. And I didn't want to talk about this at all, because we're wasting stream time, because I do have a shit ton of stuff to talk about, though we only are half an hour in. And we will go for the full 2 hours today. The world is much worse than the hatred of McGarth. McGarth still calls them devils. Yeah, but it's a meme. Like, it's like he knows deep down. It's like the golden heart thing or whatever we talk about every time, where he doesn't actually believe they're devils. He's just saying it because he thinks he should say it, and it's been systematically driven into him. Like, he even says with Willie Tybur in one of their scenes where they shake hands, they're like, the one thing I know is true is that we are the real devils, is what McGarth says. So yeah. Minty says, I forgot. I don't know what he forgot. But McGarth can be killed because the rest of the world leadership won't agree with his direction. Well, I just outfit a possible thing for that. I just realized you should talk about how Jaegerists are Duma-pilled. Accelerationists is the better thing. Duma-pilled. And are always like, nothing will ever change like this guy. True. Don't talk about Jojo as this guy when he's right here. Alright, that's mean. Yeah, pulling some bullshit power of friendship thing in Attack on Titan. The power of friendship is in everything you've ever watched and liked. And of course it's going to be in Attack on Titan, because that's literally the message of every art piece ever, except for, like, Devilman. I don't know what you want. And never use reason to see where things are developing towards power of friendship. Power of friendship is officially a dog whistle. Minty, write it down. Oh, Minty, did you see? Destiny debated a Nazi again yesterday. It was the best content in months. I know Miller's here too. He was like a political boy when we talked about it that one time. It was fucking refreshing. That was some fun shit. That was like my whole yesterday. It was like that 3-hour talk. That was some good shit. I'm remembering that now. McGarth hates that just because I brought up dog whistles. Fuck me. That kid dude was fucking insane. McGarth hates the Paradisians. 127 proved. He will always hate the devils. Yes. It's not supposed to be set up to show that McGarth is how people can be convinced against their hatred. That's definitely not the point of his entire character. Even a boomer can change is McGarth's fucking character. Sometimes if something is highlighted in a story, it's because the author wants you to pay attention because it will change. Exactly. The rest of the world didn't hate Paradis until Willie turned them on Eren. And it wasn't even Willie that did it. It was Eren killing Willie that made everything Willie said true. And Willie only made him hate him because he gave a big speech. So then if the Gabby speech about the power of friendship at the end is bad, then you'd have to retroactively say that the Willie power of friendship or power of anti-friendship speech would have been bad too. But no one said that because they're hacks and they are making up reasons to dislike it now. So unrealistic, again with the fucking realistic word. It's extremely unrealistic. He did it again. For them to even be working together in the first place, incorrect. It'd been set up from the beginning. We'd been speculating about it for literally years before it happened. It did not come out of nowhere. It was not rushed, and it was not unrealistic. There's minimal incentive to allow Paradis to live post-Eren as another person like Eren could rise up and pose the same threat. Yeah, but that's the cycle of hatred. Do you think we're just not going to solve the cycle of hatred in the story? You don't think that's the main point? You don't think that's the main theme? And if somehow they kill Eren and they make it so that the founder's power doesn't exist anymore, or if they kill Eren and then all of the Colossals fall down and they're all destroyed or they all evaporate, then the rumbling can never happen again. This is a pretty easy solution. If they kill Eren and they kill all the Colossals. Man, that nuke that I keep speculating about would come in fucking pretty handy if they could gather all the Colossals. Or if Gabby does the big thing, the original meme that I had where she convinces Eren to stop and he sacrifices himself to kill all of the Colossals and then eradicates the possibility of the rumbling ever happened. Or if Eren is leading the Colossals to the ocean to drown them all. There's a million ways this could work. All you have to do is get rid of all of the Colossal Titans and then the rumbling can never happen again. And the rest of the world was at Marley's mercy. Minimal incentive. He just said ice burst stones, and also killing people is not something most people enjoy. Fuck, we're so behind on chat talking about this fucking bullshit. And the power of the founder would be a deterrent. Only realistic way to do it is to have at least destroy the world army. The world doesn't have one army. Even if they all gathered in one spot, it wouldn't be the entire world army. And Eren destroys them, there's going to be other things around. And then afterwards, that would be less forgivable if they kill millions and billions of soldiers. This is way less realistic than the thing. Are they still mobilized against Paradis to destroy them post-Eren? Well, the world army isn't mobilized, right? Reiner says this. Reiner encouraged Magarth to attack early because it was going to take months for the world army to mobilize. So the world army is not mobilized yet. They have not come together yet because Marley acted immediately and went after Paradis with the surprise attack. So the world army has not mobilized yet. How late am I? Ghost says. We've been live for about 40 minutes, probably. We can invade them for these stones, which will take a lot of resources, and a lot of our people will die. And they have the power to demolish our military, or we can let them live and they'll just give us stones, and also won't hurt us. I'm not sure. Both options are the same. Paradis needs to retain the founder. Obviously, the founder is not going to exist at the end of the series. This is blatantly obvious, unless we get an Eren wins ending. This is no way that the founder... I used to hold on to the thing that Titans were not going to exist at the end of the story, but I don't think Annie is going to die. So I don't know, maybe they could remove the Titan powers or something, and that could be some pull out of the ass thing, but something is here. Good job, Kyle. Whataboutism at its finest. This is not a logical conversation. This is a conversation about a fucking fictional art piece. Whataboutism doesn't apply here. The founder, and I wonder why Magarth would let them keep it when he can keep it. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about with the whataboutism, though. I don't know the specific detail because I'm way behind, so I can't even attack whatever argument he was saying I was using whataboutism because I don't remember what we were talking about. I don't watch Destiny because I'm not a liberal. Yeah, exactly. But fuck, it was such great stuff. You should watch that the conversation with the Nazi. It was good stuff. Speaking of 3 hours, I have some lectures to watch now. Miller, you have to stay. I haven't seen any of the lectures yet. I'm fucking way behind. Not even the Rowdy Fuckers Cop Killers one yet. But after Eren is killed, why would the Titans stop moving? Because he'll pull it out of his ass. They all evaporate when the founder dies. If the founder doesn't exist anymore, they're fucked or something. It's a million possible ways. Or Eren turns on him at the end, and he was just uniting everybody, and he fucking uses Ymir's power to disintegrate them. If Ymir was creating them all with that bullshit in the whatever realm where she was piling them on top of each other, she could rip them apart or something. If Ymir still exists, which I think a lot of people still do. Still think that. And what will Ymir do if her goal is still to destroy the world? Well, I'm pretty sure Ymir doesn't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure Eren absorbed Ymir or some shit. We don't know anything about what Ymir thinks, or not what she thinks, but what she'll do afterwards, or what her power is, or what the extent of anything she thinks is. So that's a complete mystery element. I don't know, they use Zeke to maintain the mindless... That's right, the royal blood or whatever, the stupid logistics don't matter to me. But they'll figure out a way to do it, and Isayama's probably planned. Isayama's known how they were going to defeat Eren since the beginning. He probably laid out the foreshadowing, and it'll probably all come into a little big circle. He's thought about this more than any of us ever have, so... what the fuck? And then have them eat Eren. That's possible. Does Eren have anything you can eat? He's just a skeleton, though. The Titans are slow as fuck. Yes, they've established since the beginning that the Colossal Titans have always been slow and easy to take down with 3D maneuver gear. There's just the sheer amount of them that's like impractical. Then they have the new founder to command them. By the way, the boomers can change. Maybe realize you had a point about Attack on Titan having a consistent message about how old people bad. MacArthur is obviously only on a character arc, but I don't see how it will help Marley choose to not actively fight Paradis, because MacArthur is the only person with any power in Marley. Whatever he says goes. But I was going to say I think Isayama is actually criticizing that idea, since we have people like Pixis and Nile. Isayama, like, old people bad is like some Zoomer bullshit. No one actually thinks this. So yes, I don't think the message of the story at all is that old people are bad or stuck in their old ways. The Flock is a part of the new generation, yet he's obviously in the wrong. Yes, the message is not old people bad. He even says the old people in the government are behind with the times. Yes, this is a theme because this is actually the theme is antithetical to old people being bad, because the Sanez thing is coming through even now about him saying Hanji that eventually the young people are going to rise up and think all your ideas are bad and outdated, and it's just going to continue with this cycle if you're not careful. So Isayama is showing that in of itself is a bad argument. Shardis is good too, despite being old. Yes, I guess. Flock is the only person loyal to Paradis. The rest are flipping traitors. Fuck nationalism in every incarnation. So I don't give a fuck about being loyal to Paradis. I think that would be a bad virtue, even if it was held by some characters. Minty says, lol, well, the story disagrees with you. Sorry, narrative. Yep, the Avengers are a bunch of cucks and idiots. Alright, I think he's going into troll mode now. The shifters shouldn't be able to transform unless it's an arse pull, and Ymir is still building them for some reason. I don't know how that works either, actually. But Reiner just lost his armor, right? He didn't he was still a Titan or whatever, and Piek was still transformed even after Eren did the thing. If it's this arse pull thing, basically what JoJo's doing and what everyone does is if they don't like the theoretical ending, it's just an arse pull. No one actually thinks anything is an arse pull. Because that's just such a stupid concept. It's nearly as stupid as people saying plot armor when they don't actually know shit. If it's building up to some bullshit Lelouch arse pull, the story will have failed spectacularly. Incorrect. If the story ends with Talk no Jutsu, the story will have failed. Every story ever always ends with Talk no Jutsu. I don't understand how you could not see this in everything. I guess that is the whataboutism he's talking about, but that's easily justifiable. The whole point of stories is the pen is mightier than the sword, right? The whole point of telling stories in the first place is to endow a message, usually an anti-violence message. So obviously Talk no Jutsu is going to be more powerful than fighting or military might in a story. This is the most obvious thing imaginable. Only way Isayama can pull Eren is a good guy, even though Grisha says to stop him, is that Grisha actually lied. I hate all this fucking memory bullshit with the Attack Titan and how they can see both ways. It complicates everything, and I just can't be bothered to think about it until it's explained to us by the narrative. Has Eren seen more than we've seen? Is he has he seen everything? Is a million different ways, and then Minty's always no, actually in chapter 100 and whatever the fuck. I don't care about the logistics at all. I care about thematic consistency. And we're still talking about this fucking topic. Lied. All according to Eren's plan somehow. The only plausible endings are Eren winning via genocide or Eren having an alternative plan. If Eren loses, logistics will bring down the quality of Attack on Titan. Incorrect. I don't know, it just sounds like my boy Eren, he's got to win. And in any way he doesn't win, I'm going to be sad, because I really like Eren. He's really cool, bro. We're up to 9 viewers. With the old people bad, yes, you're that far behind. You compared it to another series where old people are depicted as dumb, as old and dumb. They do that in Berserk a lot, but it's the old people are decrepit and it's literally 90-year-olds. It's different though, because that's not a heavy message in Berserk. But the message in Berserk isn't old people are destructive and will destroy the planet. It's old people are out of touch and they won't see the next trend coming, and it'll be too late when it rises up on them. And Berserk's world is so different. I don't know if I use Berserk in that specific, because I always think back to the first flashback mission Guts ever does with the Band of the Hawk, where Griffith like shows up and he's greeted by like the two really old noblemen, and he says like "fuck off, I've got to go save Guts." That's like the moment I remember, and the fact that Laban, and what's his friend's name? The two bros that have been in Berserk since the beginning, but have always been like the most minimal side characters. Like basically, they represent like the young nobility that is like totally for Griffith. That's like a whole thing. Isayama failed in the moral grayness towards the end of the story. It was never moral grayness. It was that everyone was morally grey, as in each character was morally grey, and they'd all done both bad things and good things, because every person has done good things and bad things. That's still consistent. It wasn't that morality itself is like grey or whatever. That's like a misinterpretation of what he was going for and what like people mean when they say that. Now he made Eren the big bad. Well, my ending is the Itachi ending where Eren isn't the big bad. And Eren is the big bad in the way that he's the villain of the story that we have to stop. But it's like everyone like the whole point is that Eren was the protagonist for fucking 90 chapters and we were supposed to relate to and love him. Only for him to turn out to be bad. So it's like you compare the first 90 chapters to the last like 50 chapters and you're like, oh, we understand because we literally saw every point of the villain's journey to how he became a villain. So actually it's completely the opposite, and it is like the most morally grey story ever because the protagonist of like this long-running massive series became the villain by the end, and we saw every point of how it happened and how he degraded from this like very like not noble but like I don't know, wide-eyed like protagonist that wanted to do all the good and kill the big enemy to only become the big enemy by the end. It's supposed to be a little ironic, and it's supposed to be like the greatness of Attack on Titan. Now he made Eren the big bad and made the enemies come together via the power of friendship arsepoles. It's literally the world is ending. Like it's the least arsepole thing ever in existence. Like the world will end if we don't put our squabbles aside and come together to fight Eren. Like, that's literally the least arsehole thing you could ever think of in a story ever. He literally had a whole chapter of them talking about all the hatred they have for each other. Like, he couldn't be more blatant in, like, making this a slow process. This has been, like, a whole series-long thing of them relating to each other the whole time because they were all on the same side to the beginning, even though they secretly weren't. Like, this is the most, like, obvious slow burn ever. Like, I'm sorry you didn't pick up on it. Isayama was ahead of the curve for this sentiment arising with the you-know-what, with the coronavirus. He's justified serious stuff with plot contrivance. Plot contrivance is such a weak point in anything ever. Like, everything in a plot is convenient inherently. Like, it's such like a surface-level basic bitch thing to complain about if you're complaining about plot holes or plot contrivances. It's like, I don't care. And I don't even agree that they are. And those are serious strikes against the narrative. Incorrect. Minty does double O. How much longer do we have? About the they should be able to transform thing. What? I don't know. They shouldn't be able to transform in the time loop is a plot hole. Well, the time loop was always going to be a plot hole. Time travel is always inherently a plot hole, like whatever. That's like the least of anyone's issues. It's really interesting how that was transformed from a question about chapter 123, I wonder if they can transform since Ymir is free, to a certainty they shouldn't be able to transform as the fear of Eren being defeated was risen. True. Naruto has gone down an unilateral failure. Incorrect. It absolutely is not. What's your point about saying other stories do? What's your point about saying other stories do it so it's good? Well, we can defend it. Like I think I already did. This was way ago. Like the pen is mightier than the sword is inherent in all stories. They are written fucking mediums. Of course, the message is always going to be like words can convince the world because that's what stories are. So yes, that's the without doing the whataboutism. That's the argument. Especially since we have seen the two instances of shifters regenerating post Ymir being free. Yes, of course. In 124 and 127, so you're full of shit there, mate. But yeah, it is insignificant mechanical shit. You want to talk about whataboutism? That is bullshit. Fuck off, Kyle. I don't know what Minty was mad about. I bet it was something funny, though. I'm just saying the consistency does matter. Yeah, it does. But, like, I don't know. Like, if I can I don't know. As a viewer, I don't care about consistency that much. Like, I guess, I don't know. I just like not meta narrative. Abstract art has like no consistency inherently, and that's not a bad thing. And I guess you could make the statement that Attack on Titan isn't abstract art, and it has had a very consistent plot, and that's probably something Isayama values. But like Evangelion sort of valued that until the end of Evangelion happens, and I still liked that. So it's sort of like this. I'm not torn one way or another, like really. Isayama is consistent, so it will determine certain things. Yeah, and I don't even think he has been inconsistent, so it's really like a non-issue. It's just the mechanics are built around the themes, but they're both relevant. Sure. They regenerate, that's inherent in their abilities. It's not like Reiner fell out of his Titan. He had to conform to the Founder's order of having no hardening. They specifically transformed due to Ymir creating them in an alternate realm. I don't know if this is inherent. I don't know if that was supposed to be a metaphor or if that was like true. It really doesn't matter. They can still transform. Pieck was already transformed and hasn't de-transformed since for a reason. Alright, I'm almost certain they can all still transform though. It doesn't really matter if they can or can't. And that would sort of defeat your original point, because if, like, no Titans could transform ever since Ymir no longer exists, if Eren, like, absorbed her or something, then when they defeat Eren, hold on, I have to check this. Ava Champion 2 is now following. I like that name, but we're probably way behind if he's saying anything in chat now, and we will get there. So if Eren ever de-transforms, or if he is defeated, then, like, you can never have a Founding Titan again, because, like, Ymir doesn't exist and no Titan shifters can transform. Like, that's pretty simple. Jojo Dad is now following. I guess he unfollowed and then followed again. They physically transformed into Khmer. Pieck was already transformed as a transformer since for a reason. I have read 113 of Vinland Saga, and if my boy Thorfinn was here, they could talk no jutsu Titan out of eating humans. True, Vinland Saga is total talk no jutsu, and it's great. I have nothing against talk no jutsu. Ymir rebuilds their form in the Paths realms, Lamau, that's how they regenerate. I still feel like that was a visual metaphor, because if not, that's sort of stupid and lame. I was literally defending chapter 126 as well, but in retrospect, it really was rushed and poorly written chapter. Completely incorrect. A lot of poor character interactions in that chapter too. Completely incorrect. Like 127 was... I don't know. I don't want to have this shitty argument again. I don't want to have any of this argument again. The 104th shouldn't join up with the enemies, with their enemies. They have... Where are the Vinland Saga boys? You have no enemies. Without a flipping plan after. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you do or do not have a plan if the world ends. You still got to stop the world from ending. This is like the most inherent, like... It's like the world is ending. Like, it doesn't matter if you do or do not have a plan. They haven't even made an agreement with Mali about securing the safety of Paradis. It doesn't matter. The world will end. They don't want the corpses of billions of people on their hands. No matter what, even if it means they have to die. They're fucking idiots and traitors, very unrealistic actions taken by characters. So if characters aren't selfish, then they're unrealistic. Someone with JoJo in their name complaining about plot holes, ironic. Well, I don't know anything about JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. They suddenly have no self-preservation. Well, it depends. Do you value survival or what's right, I guess? Isayama has fumbled the story almost as bad as D&D at this point. It seems like JoJo's like apt for Isayama has gone down as the argument has gone down, showing that he's very much changing his position. Now they're as bad as D&D. I'm pretty sure before he said he trusted Isayama. And wanted to see how it played out beforehand. It's kind of funny that he said he hated Game of Thrones Season 8 and produced this. Did he say that? Ghost, Lamau Griffith's #1 best written character in this list. I don't know. JoJo, when I get to the bottom of chat, post the link again if you want me to look at that. I don't watch JoJo's. I couldn't get past the 3rd episode, and I think it's a shit anime overall. Next argument, ? With the consistency does matter. I meant by the standards of this story, if we're talking about interpreting the story, it's valuable. Well, valuable is a very loaded term, but I don't want to talk about that. Attack on Titan has a multitude of plot holes and plot contrivances. I got banned from Titanfall for trying to bring them up. Well, yeah, everything does. Ava Champion says, hey, after he followed. And then JoJo says, yo. No, I just followed. There's no way you hadn't been following beforehand. He ignored my point about the regeneration tides. Welcome, Miller says to Ava Champ. Greetings from the Icelandic voice actress. From Icelandic voice actress. Whatever. I don't think English went well there, but okay. No self-preservation, to borrow from one of Kyle's favorite quotes. Do you not realize the message is choosing between what's easy and what's right? I even brought that up, Minty. I don't know if it was before or after this. The world bar paradise is ending, idiot. It doesn't matter. Self-preservation is not like, you can't be this selfish. Like, oh, it's all right. Like, America is literally in this position. They would probably be more peaceful if they just nuked the rest of the world except for America. But this is not a moral action. Like, Hanji is very much making a stand here against this. She's saying, like, literally, our self-preservation is not worth killing the rest of the world. We need to take a drink of water. Add traitors to the dog whistle. Well, traitors is an inherent dog whistle, I think. People who want them dead. What about likely millions of immigrants who don't speak the common tongue and don't know shit about this conflict? Or the Eldians who have been brainwashed? Or fucking everybody who has been brainwashed to think they're literally devils? I think most of the wider population of the entire world does not give a flying fuck about Eldians at all. Just the people in charge do. And that's all that really matters. But holy shit, we're at the end of chat. Overwhelming majority of people choose self-preservation. Yes, but this is, like, it's not what the overwhelming choice... Again, it's between what is right and what is easy. Like, Isayama is not going to write a story where people are selfish and that is proven to be a good thing. Like, obviously they're going to put their selfishness aside. You can say that's unrealistic, but then there's, like, no point in the story. And I guess because you're very selfish would be the only justification for that stance. But yeah, no one in real life is actively fighting to stop Eren when the alternative is Paradis's destruction. That's not the inherent alternative. They could still fight to protect Paradis and a million other things, which we will talk about in the script that I brought up that we still haven't talked about because we've gone down this massive tangent. The alternative isn't that, though, exactly. The point is they'll find another way. Giving up on grinding another way and choosing genocide is bad. Finding another way and choosing genocide. No one's making a stupid move. Then thank God we can suspend our disbelief more. We shouldn't be forced to suspend our disbelief. This suspend our disbelief meme that people repeat endlessly in fucking discourse is the worst thing ever, and I hate it. So, I've never suspended my disbelief ever, and it's so, like, such a stupid... I hate this talking point so much. When we're already fine, it's 20-meter naked giants fighting. This is such a stupid point. This is like, well, Game of Thrones shouldn't be realistic, bro. There's massive dragons. Why are you complaining about the time it takes for them to get to one end to the other? Like, no, it's already been established that these naked giants fighting is, like, very realistic within the narrative. Like, realism does not mean realistic. It means realistic in the narrative. Like, this is such a stupid point. Whoosh has shown up. You're right, his arguments keep getting worse. They haven't spoken or walked towards that. I was so close to the bottom of chat. Please stop. Stop arguing. They haven't spoken or worked towards that in the narrative at all. They've just been bullshitting so far. Incorrect. We've outlined this question a million times. It's unrealistic. Incorrect. Hanji isn't retarded and her character has suffered due to this. Maslow is wrong direction. Inherently, Maslow is wrong. This is obvious. Hanji is supposed to be like the obvious voice of reason here. She would realistically come up with the post-Eren plan at the very least. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Why is this so hard to understand? Instead of most likely dooming her island to death. It's worth it. That's the whole point, is that if Paradis has to die to save the rest of the world, then so be it. Like, obviously. After this conversation, you should add fuckton to this script. Yes, I've been thinking that the whole time. Like, I'm probably going to forget this, and this would probably be a handy resource to go back and watch. First-hand experience, man. How do you read 15 meters, 20 meter, though? Anyway, quick bottom of chat. God, this story might fail. Isayama is almost giving Hanji a post-rationale in her expecting the island to survive for a few more years before they inevitably die. This is obviously not going to happen. They're going to find an easier fucking explanation. She isn't even saying that they will bargain with Marley for Paradis's future. That's obviously implied in everything. Like, bargaining and becoming friends and fighting a war together is going to make them fucking allies for the future. I think that's pretty inherently implied. But bro, Gene is the voice of reason of the chapter. Ignore that he ended up siding with the Alliance. Exactly. Alright, we're not talking about this anymore. We're at the bottom of chat. Jojo says lol in chat. What were we going on Twitter? Alright, this is something we're pointing out. We're changing the subject. We're not talking about this anymore. The last Social Blade. Oh, yes. This is the old channel. So we're nearing catching up to the old channel. How many subscribers are we up to? 520, I think, or 22, or are we up to 510? 523 subscribers. We got up to, on the last day of the old channel, we got 10 new subscribers on the last day because I uploaded the Jägermaster plan that day. Fucking good times. 10 more subscribers we got that day, plus 2,000 new views. And we got up to 637. So when we hit 638, that's when we celebrate. Also 100,000 video views. Fuck me. I was good back in the day, you know? Fuck, it's taken us like 6 months to get back to this. Ugh. Where did these original 600 people go? Daily average plus 6 subscribers. Fuck yes. Too bad the next video is a wrestling video and we'll get no views, because we could probably continue this fucking train of going upwards. But that is something I wanted to point out. 638 is the number to remember. Everybody remember. 638 is the celebration number. Minty, stop standing. The writing has gone down since 123. Like the last 3 months, the writing just went down for no reason at all. Marley Arc was the peak. Can you address my regeneration point? It's gone from seinen back to shonen retardism. Whatever. Both of those words mean nothing. I know you're sweating, hoping I don't bring that back up. And now Wish says, lol, we're not talking about do this. I was looking forward to the story ending well because it is my favorite, but it looks like I'm going to be disappointed just as much. Well, it's not our problem. You banked everything on Eren being your golden boy, and now it looks like he's not going to be. And I don't know. I don't know what you expected. This is so stupid. So 138. Oh yeah, I was just thinking about these Leaf scenes again, and it made me mad. And then fucking our boy Link's AMVs. He's always liking my shit on Twitter, but ugh. I nearly responded to this with the author is dead, and I was like, but Minty's not here to laugh at it. He doesn't have a Twitter, so I can't just respond with the author is dead and have it oh, he would have been so confused. The mangaka himself asked for that scene, Lamau, chill, mate. Not everything happening in the anime has to be 100% like the manga. Imagine making this argument to me when I made a 40 fucking minute video about this exact point. Oh, does anyone listen? Does anyone care? Not really, but that's fine. The mangaka himself asked for it. Oh, it took every restraint I had to not just make a joke for myself and say the author is dead, the author is dead, the author is dead. Fuck. So we did some interesting things on Twitter. Tonight's stream will be duty, switch the thing. Oh, this is fucking great. Look at him fucking go insane. The Melbourne coach, because they were having a shit fucking performance. He was fucking yelling. Hold on, go back to the very beginning. Fucking, I love that the NRL is still on. Fuck me. The Titans lost by 40 points today. Fucking rest in peace. What was this? So I said, which one of these videos do I make the most? The AEW video is coming out before this. I watched the Joan and Don scene again from Mad Men, and I was like, fuck, I gotta write a script on this. There's so much good stuff here, and I'm never gonna get around to these Mad Men season reviews, so I may as well just make another Mad Men video. It should be a short video, so I'm gonna make this fucking video now. It'll be easier to make than the fucking Peggy and Don episode, the Suitcase episode 1. This one is fucking taking forever. I have no idea for Vinland Saga videos, though I'm thinking maybe I'd make a video about that Leaf scene. Top 10 Berserk moments is coming. This Attack on Titan argument map one is coming as well. Argument mapping one would be really cool. Fuck, it's gonna be hard to edit that argument mapping video. The editing is done. Alright, that was the things I wanted to talk about from Twitter, so we can get rid of this shit. Why is Twitch still open? Fucking crashing my connection. Oh no, how much do we go up? What did you think the message of Attack on Titan was before? Good question, Minty. Lol, I want a realistic ending, not bullshit Naruto one. Well, whatever. Again with the realistic word that we're completely rejecting. I want a realistic in-world ending, whether it goes Eren's way or not. Who cares about a realistic ending? It's about the theme. I've become woke on your point about adaptations. True. They don't sacrifice in-world realism for your themes. Yes, you sacrifice everything for your theme. Your theme is the only thing that matters. You build everything around your theme. Well, I guess this is all subjective because art is subjective, but that's my view of things at least. That's how far you get. That's how you get Game of Thrones Season 8 with minimal consistency. Well, Game of Thrones Season 8 was not the start of the problems with consistency. Season 4 was, but Season 4 still had good dialogue and shit, so we didn't care that it was fucking... Game of Thrones from the beginning, this TV show was like betraying its theme. Like, it contradicted itself a lot, but it was okay because the acting and the characters and everything was still fucking great. And then by the time you get to Season 5, most of the good characters have been killed off, the dialogue took a sharp nose turn, the plot twists and everything weren't as good because they ran out of books to adapt. Like, the Game of Thrones stuff, like Season 5 is still the worst season of Game of Thrones, and Season 8 is better than Season 5 and 7. So we don't want to get into the Game of Thrones defending discussion. When people say, yeah, Attack on Titan anime may have problems, but it's not perfect, but it's still great compared to anime, okay, so the manga is still better than, yes, everyone has bullshit things. They like the big moving things. Everyone is a motion baby, alright? Like, I could not... Like, the Full Metal Alchemist manga is so good, and I know every adaptation will be worse, just inherently, because the manga is so good. And I can't wait to make that point. It's going to be fun to attack Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. People like Stimulation Man, anime over manga. That is the worst possible opinion JoJo could ever have. Anime over manga. Ugh, disgusting. We got one, oh no. Everyone knows. Manga art is trash for the first 40 plus. Oh, he's talking about specifically Attack on Titan. That's even worse. Top 10 Berserk moments first, please. Yes, maybe. No, the argument mapping one is probably going to come out first, but story, bro. JoJo is the complete opposite of everything Carl stands for in every way. We go over this every time JoJo's here, though. Maybe Miller. Here's an idea. Thorfinn, the best protagonist in anime. Clickbait galore. Well, that would just be the worst video ever. What would you even say about that? There's a market in attacking the Berserk adaptations that I almost want to get into, because I see on Twitter constantly people putting over the 1997 Berserk anime like it's tolerable and anything but aesthetic. It gets the aesthetic right, but that's it. Everything else is bad about that adaptation. Like, awfully bad. Oh, I need to make that video so bad. Oh, Farm the Madness, so good. Fuck these idiots. They're everywhere. You have a conflicting themes in a narrative and justify a controversial one in the end. That's what Eren winning will amount to. Not liking Berserk 97 is your worst take. It's beautiful. It's the best looking thing I ever saw in my life. The music is great. The visuals, great. Everything else is like, how do you fuck it up? Everything from the beginning so well. Actually, the first episode is really good. Which is another hot take. People think that first episode is bad. It's probably the best episode. Just the beginning of that and how no one says anything for like the first 7 minutes of like the Berserk thing. Berserk episode 1. So good. Serving as a warning for the cycle of hatred reaching its worst logical conclusion. Also mutual discussion. We're not talking about this though. The OST though, 97 is trash as an adaptation, but I still love it. Okay, I guess. Definitely as an adaptation it is trash, but I still like that it exists because it is so pretty. How is the cycle of hatred We're not talking about this. Not thematically consistent with the cycle of hatred bad. Kyle is just inherently contrarian and it's painfully obvious. Says the one who is going against everyone in the chat right now, Jojo. Try not to get off on your own contrarianism. I don't know, that's not that hot of a take. No one says that like the Berserk anime is better than the manga. They just vary on how much they like it. But yeah, fuck it. You ignored the regeneration thing. No cycle of hatred is a theme. You either vindicate it by following it to its logical conclusion, or you break it. Breaking it is the theme. The theme isn't the cycle of hatred. The theme is how to break the cycle of hatred, and the whole story is a demonstration on how to get these two opposing forces to come together and end the conflict. That's the theme. Not the cycle of hatred. That's not the theme. That's a component of the theme. You don't... To present a cycle of hatred and then just say, well, then they hated each other for all time because it's realistic. That's like, there's no point in presenting that. Like, what is the audience supposed to take from this? If you hate someone, just continue hating them for all time and never try to work through your issues. Like, the whole point is supposed to be, this is the cycle of hatred on the most extreme scale, whereas in your life it's on a very minimal scale. But if they can get through their cycle of hatred where they literally killed each other and fought each other and made each other eat each other, then you can get through your bullshit little cycle of hatred against like races you don't like or different people you don't like. Like, that's the message. So you can either one, admit that the mechanic isn't important, two, am I right, indicative of them, or three, keep ignoring it. Then Isayama executed it poorly in 126. I disagree. 4 bonus, admit that Ymir isn't free and Eren manipulated her. Oh, that's what I was supposed to do on Twitter. I responded to Andrew Allstar because he posted like, oh, I really love the Ymir and Eren relationship and how he's like a big brother to her. And I just responded, Eren manipulated Ymir. And then I got a bunch of responses about butthurt people being mad that I said that. So that was the thing I originally went to Twitter to show and to flex on Minty, because I finally made that argument just on Twitter instead of in a video, and I thought he'd appreciate it. That's how you execute them, by breaking the cycle. There isn't enough story showing it break. It's a boring message. Whatever. How he's a big brother to her. The cute Ymir daughter propaganda is powerful, man. Eren did partially manipulate her, but he's going to go back to his waifu Historia and reincarnate baby Ymir Chen once he kills those racist people outside the walls. Maybe. Please, can we stop talking about this? Full Metal Alchemist. What a meme this series is. It would, because it was another time of her being used for someone else's thing. Especially if Eren and Historia are married, and Eren is technically the king of Eldia right now. We didn't even talk about the Willy Tybur thing. How I'm almost convinced now that Willy Tybur was definitely in on the plan again. And I think it was probably some Eren Paz bullshit where he whispered in his ear or something. But I feel like somehow Willy Tybur has to come in. I will not let the Willy Tybur memes die. But I don't want to start a whole conversation about Willy Tybur. Please don't respond to what I just said. It would also parallel Historia's themes very well. Obviously, Ymir and Historia are parallels. I'm going to sell you on this idea I'm justifying after thinking of it 5 minutes ago. I swear it. The only logical thing Ymir can do is destroy the whole world, Paradise included, if the revelation comes about. Jesus Christ. Judge continues to be the worst. Perhaps that's a potential ending. What, the god figure just ends the world? That would be the true Devilman ending if Ymir is just like, if she comes out, splits from Eren and says, hey, fuck that shit, and then just explodes the world. Literally the Devilman ending if Ymir ends the world. I'm behind it. I'm sold. Fucking shh. That's a potential ending. I posted that on Reddit and people like it. Well, Reddit is the worst place ever. Wait, are you the JoJo guy on Reddit? So you unironically a troll of Jaegerus? A little Socratic dialogue. I was surprised that Ed was such an interesting character. I don't know, interesting. I just like sort of his vulgarity and his... I don't know, he's fun to watch. I don't know if he's interesting. He's definitely fun to watch, though. I do like Ed a lot, and it surprised me. It also surprised me that the comedy in the series really worked. Yeah, it definitely works. I like the comedy as well. Screw Willy Tybur shit. Have you seen the Eren Kruger and Kasabian conspiracies? Fuck off. If you don't want me to talk about Attack on Titan, then don't talk about Attack on Titan. Ymir doing that would be proving Eren wrong, but too Ava-like. That's literally the Devilman ending, so it's not Ava-like. It's Devilman-like. But yeah, I would be entirely for every Devilman ending. You've heard the rocking chair on the Red Sea with Eren holding the baby before. Alright? That's the old meme and it will never die. I'm not a doll, destroys humanity. But humanity doesn't get destroyed in Ava, so it would be completely different if the world ends, because the world doesn't end in Ava, and Ava gets a happy ending. So yeah, that was my potential ending. I like it. Shall I watch Full Metal Alchemist or read? Well, I've only read it, and I'm having a fun time reading it, so I don't know. Jojo, you're not a Jaegerist. I expose you. Damn, any of this data to use the argument mapping is tainted. Yeah. People say it's the best anime ever. Can't be that bad. I'm having fun. I don't know. I don't know how it ranks overall. I don't know if it's Vinland Saga quality. We'll have to see when it finishes. Lol, I'm not a Jaegerist. I do want Eren to win, though, because it would be a dark ending. He's a realist, not a Jaegerist, right? I think there is a distinction there. But you disagree with Eren, don't lie. I see you shitting on Jaegerists all the time. Again, Minty acts like he's never been on Reddit in his fucking life, but he knows every single Reddit memes, and he even has identified JoJo as a Redditor. What a fucking hack liar this Minty fraud is. We've exposed him now. Unless that's the troll and this is your true self. Sure. It's annoying when people try to say that the only way the story can end is with Eren winning. It's a bad ending. He means argument. We're not talking about Attack on Titan. We're talking about Fullmetal Alchemist. Then, are you calling the Alliance traitors then? I acknowledge that destroying the world is morally wrong. We're just backpedaling. He's changing his argument. JoJo's changed his argument about 15 times. He's just saying whatever he feels instead of grounding his axioms and going through with a real argument. But who cares? Because we're not talking about Attack on Titan anymore. I don't know if we want to go any further back. I think I said everything I wanted to say about Fullmetal Alchemist, but there we go. We didn't even talk about the script yet. What the fuck? We're an hour and 30 minutes in, and I didn't even talk about how we completely changed this video. Let's zoom out a little bit. No, that's a little too far. We'll just do 100. Hold on. Chat exploded, bro. Can we say... by the way, Envy's true form is CG in Brotherhood, so it's another reason why the manga is better. Interesting. I can't wait to see Brotherhood CGI. Bone CGI, that'll be interesting. So did they not get up to it in the original? When does the original end? Am I past the point where the original Fullmetal Alchemist stopped adapting stuff? Sure, let me just get someone on the line so you can say that. Okay. Wait, the main character of this has pink hair? Kind of gay, don't you think? Who are you talking about? No. You usually stream when I'm in school, so it's hard to catch your streams, Beardo says. Interesting. Was school cancelled? School is still on in Australia, I think. I think my brother still goes to school. I don't know. Fuck him. Whoosh, I think... Is your hair pink? I'm sorry. It's okay. No, school's cancelled forever. Welcome, yes. School's not cancelled in Sweden. Lucas is from Sweden. Yeah, I can watch more now. Well, that's good. Wait, how many viewers are we at? 9 viewers still. What the fuck? This is the point. This is me pointing out all the stupid choices Eren's has made on Reddit. I don't want to click on it right now. We're trying to get away from Attack on Titan topic, even though we do have to talk about this. I don't know how to use Reddit, though. Fucking Minty. I'm sick of him. Wish says yes. I think the original arounds when greed is introduced and when their teacher is introduced. It diverts after Hughes' death. Huh? Really? I'm only halfway through and it ends before. What the fuck? It diverts after Hughes' death. How do they give it an ending? Do they fight the father? Is that how it ends? I'm assuming that's how the normal thing ends, but do they rush to it? Huh, interesting. Does it have the same ending as Brotherhood, or is it a completely different ending? Do they both... I don't know. I don't know if I want to know if they both end with them defeating the father. I don't know. I'm interested to see what the aesthetic of the anime is, what the music is like and things like that. Because I did watch the first episode of the original Fullmetal Alchemist anime 3 years ago. So half of the original series is their anime original ending. It's an anime original ending, completely different. Okay. But they'd have to... Did they just not put the father in it at all or something? I'm very curious now how it ends. I don't think the original has father at all. Interesting. Okay. So we changed the video. This is the argument mapping video. I've just reduced it down to I'm just going to do the one argument in the video. And therefore it will have the clickbait title of Is Eren morally justified in his crusade to end the world? And then we'll go back and forth with these two things. Can you tell by which paragraph is bigger which side I took? I thought this was a fantastic fucking meme. The Scats will have no other plan. The Scats have no other plan after defeating Eren. I wish I was special. I'm gonna play that line. It's gonna be fucking good. I used Gabby did nothing wrong as an example, then transition into the Is Eren is right? Is the Avengers stupid? All right. The title is the wordiest shit. Yeah, I'll change the title. It's just I had an epiphany where I should just change it to the one argument. And I don't think I'll say morally justified. Is Eren in the right or something will be the title. His name is Father, Minty says. Kind of, being whatever that word is. Some of the homunculi hadn't been introduced yet, so they had to change them into completely different people and designs. Okay. I still haven't seen the sloth one, and he looked like this big, massive hulking dude that they teased before. We still haven't seen him yet. The title's the wordiest shit ever. Drop the last 6 words. 6 words? Is it even more than 6 words? What the fuck? The new meme, push the oof outside of the quotation marks. Where's the oof? Ah, okay. He's referencing his own fucking chats. I think Edenau's mother is a homunculus in the original anime or something. Ooh, that's interesting. It's literally 7 words. Of course, the father loses in the end. Yeah, of course. I'm not under any illusion. Make sure you bring up that the Avengers as not being just stupid cucks, traitors, emotional. Of course. True, defend the Avengers, lol. Oh. Sloth is the original. In the original is a cute girl. Okay. It's 14 words, not 7. I don't know my fascism memes. I'm so confused. They are emotional, though, since they don't possess enough foresight to realize that they are most likely finished if they stop and kill Eren. No, not true, but we're not going into this again. So what did I write down? So I don't know, I did this in like a whim. I didn't even plan on working on this, but then last night I just wrote it out, and then I realized that I'm not going to make it about all the different issues in Attack on Titan. I'll just do the Is Eren Right one because it'll get the most views, and it's basically all I have to talk about, and I can incorporate everything but Gabby did nothing wrong into it. So first we present the Eren did nothing wrong side of the argument. Eren had no choice to activate the rumbling. He tried to venture to Mali, and in his travels there learned that the people didn't do anything wrong, and that Reiner, Bertol, and Annie were just kids following orders. He forgives them, saying that he understands to Reiner, and that he sees himself as the same as Reiner in their conversation. He tried a multitude of options, but at the conference... the conference I'm talking about, where the national officials seem to be lenient towards non-Paradisian Eldians in order to focus all their hatred towards Paradisians. This is obviously not written very well. He isn't doing what he is doing out of hatred, but because he thinks it's the only practical solution. So I think I'm being pretty generous here in saying Eren isn't doing this out of hatred, which he obviously isn't. He's just doing it because he thinks it's the only way. This is shown in like his anger towards Hanji when he like basically begs her by yelling at her to find a better way, and by the fact that he said he'd never let Historia get pregnant unless it was the last option, and she's now pregnant, so obviously he didn't find a better way. So yes, I think this is a pretty charitable version. He viewed he had no other option, and he viewed the last option as the only option to save Paradis. That's like basically the Eren defense thing. That's what JoJo's been saying the whole time. The 14 words, you don't know that one. I don't think I do. Is this some sort of fascism meme? Fascist meme, rather, not fascism, fascist meme. Eren is a genocidal maniac. I'll obviously change these 2 titles because they are inflammatory. Every did not try everything. Eren did not try everything, as Hanji says in the most recent chapter. Nothing, no matter the threat to yourself, justifies killing everyone else in the world. Billions of innocent people will die, more than those who would die if Paradis were wiped out. So if you're a utilitarian or trying to go with harm reduction, this is the preferable option. As it was revealed with Willy Tybur, Malayans aren't in control of Mali and never were. But the Eldian king had so much self-hatred that he thought his people deserved to be punished and gave up his land in favor of Paradis, that the Tyburs then controlled from the shadows in a similar way to the race family on Paradis. The rest of the world is said to have hatred for Eldians, but they were only called to action by Willy Tybur's speech in Liberio that only worked because he and Magarth understood that Eren would assassinate Willy and go on a rampage, making it everyone's duty to attack Paradis. The people in power throughout the world, like those in Mali, don't actually hate Eldians. They actually are just after the resources of Paradis because Titans are starting to become outdated. Even Zeke's plan of euthanasia would be morally preferable to Eren's outright rumbling response, as would be the Scout's original plan of buying time through Historia and her children. So I'm basically saying at the end here that these are 2 preferable options to rumbling. I feel like if you're a Jaegers, this Zeke point might actually be good. Like, if Eren was planning to just rumble everybody, Zeke's plan was actually way preferable. Because no one dies and the Eldians just eventually die off through lack of reproduction. So those are the 2 points. So let's see what the fuck chat has exploded with in disagreement. So we're back to Attack on Titan memes. Even if Isayama was moving towards the peace ending, he's not doing as well as he should have. Again, this seems to be a problem only you have. I guess not really only you. There's people on Reddit that have a problem with it, but the large majority don't think. Not that that proves it right, but like, I just don't agree. Should have had scouts have ulterior motives to reclaim the founder via any... The whole point is that it doesn't matter if they have a plan or not. How many times do I have to say this? They don't have to have a plan afterwards because it's the most obvious call to action that anyone should fight against. The world ending. Like, I cannot think of a more monumental thing than the world ending that you would like to stop. Have ulterior motive to reclaim the founder via any means necessary, and have Magarth have the same goal, then they choose to work together, it would be more powerful. No, it wouldn't be. It would just be them both acting in their self-interest rather than foregoing their self-interest to do what is right. It would be in direct contradiction to the theme, and it would be terrible. It would be more powerful as they would give them ulterior motives for the greater good. Wasted potential. No, then it would just be proving that everyone is as bad as each other, instead of showing that everyone can be as good as each other. And Minty says, I mean, what if Eren is actually going to sacrifice Paradis, and this is a plan made between Willy and Eren? This is a Willy type of meme. It will never die. I think Eren is going with the Itachi ending. So let's say Eren is always thinking Itachi ending is the only way to go. I will become a martyr, and I will end this conflict by sacrificing myself. So he then contacts Willy Tybur, and he says, Willy, I need you to be a martyr and sacrifice yourself to be the opposite of me. And it's another fabricated conflict here, just like the original one with the king. Oh, if Eren had, married Historia and they had a baby or whatever, and he was the king at this point when he started negotiations with Willy, it would be the king of Paradis and the Tybur family coming back together 100 years later to solve the issues of their forefathers 100 years before, if they were like, all right, Willy, you gotta make everyone hate me, and then I'll prove it by killing you, and they'll be so mad that I killed you and killed a bunch of people that they will come and attack Paradise. I will then activate the rumbling and try and attack the rest of the world. But because I know my friends, I know that they won't fall for this, and they won't just blindly follow me like a nationalist idiot, and they will see the issues here. And they will fight against me, and it will unify the rest of the world against me, and when they take me out, everything will be solved because they'll have come together against a common threat, and the rumbling will be no more because in my Itachi ending, I've absorbed Ymir, and therefore no more Titans can be made because she doesn't exist, and when I die, all of the Titans will cease to exist because of plot convenience or whatever the fuck, and therefore we win. And all that has to happen to make this work is Eren has to die and Willy Tybur has to die. They both have to sacrifice themselves, the descendants of the Tybur and the King of the Walls, 100 years later, solving the issue, and then we can have a default space where the Eldians are brought back to the real world and they get to live a peaceful thing. That's my theory currently. Fuck yes, the Willy Tybur memes will never die, and if it comes to fruition, I will have the biggest I told you so moment in human history. Does anyone know if the chapter's getting delayed, by the way? Isayama probably works from home, right? It's probably fine. But are people actually going to go out and buy the magazine in Japan? What was Roboghost even saying? What if Eren is actually going to sacrifice the Paradis, and this is a plan made by him and Willy? That was different to the conclusion I wrote, but the Willy and Eren thing is saying, I'm going to the shops. Eren is a genocidal maniac. 50-year plan would work if you try to force negotiations. But I don't think that's what he's trying to do. Fascists nowadays are weirdly self-aware enough that they've co-opted memes. Well, yes, this is crypto-fascism. I understand this. About them to try and strip the inherent stink of them and make them this but unironically thing. Yes, obviously. The 15 layers of irony, we understand. Minty says, no, don't bring up those plans. They have go-to rebuttals. 50-year plan. It wouldn't make the hatred go away. Well, at that point you have bargaining, And then, yes, 50 years, the hatred probably would have lessened, and the hatred was only brought back up, which is something Minty argued earlier, because of the Liberio thing. And if they went with the 50-year plan, they wouldn't have attacked in Liberio, and the whole world wouldn't have mobilized against them in memory of Willy. The Zeke thing is just cuck and sterilizing your own people, yeah, but then no one would, then in 100 years maximum, all the Eldians are gone, and they never have to worry about anything. I need to bring up the resource thing here. Let me make a note. I should upload this stream. Am I recording the stream? I am. I might upload a part of this stream, because it was all like Attack on Titan, like a whole Attack on Titan thing, like a whole Attack on Titan conversation. So this could be interesting. I probably can't. I just have to cut out the Full Metal Alchemist bit, because I show the manga panels. I don't know. Would that be risky? It probably is. I don't know. I'll cut up resources to satisfy the world in post-war negotiations. Why did I spell it like that? So I don't forget. I could entitle the video me arguing about Attack on Titan on stream for 120 minutes or something. And it's actually the founding Titan who goes into the past. It's just any other Titans you have is the memories. You can go back through the past, and since Eren retrieved the Warhammer, he was able to talk to the Tybers. Okay, it doesn't, again, the logistics don't matter. I think it would be a cool thing if Willy and Eren worked together, because for no other reason than I would get bragging rights, and what is sweeter than fucking bragging rights? Although his sister... I still maintain that the Jägermaster plan video is basically all correct. Instead of euthanasia, I had to say Eren is actually just going for a full rumbling, because no one even thought that was conceivable at the time. But the point I made was still relevant, that fucking... Eren was actually the bad guy, and people just didn't want to admit it. I was actually right when I was wrong. There we go, boys. Although his sister didn't know that shit, so maybe... This is the biggest, crux in any Tybur master plan thing, is that his sister didn't know about it, and she should have been in on it a little bit. I don't know, maybe Willy just says, can you beat my sister and take the Titan from Eren? And Eren was like, if you die, I'll make sure I do. And maybe he was like, alright, my sister has to die too. That would have to be a fucking hard decision. Although his sister didn't look like the most emotional, maybe he didn't like his sister or something. He thought he was passed over in favor of his sister to get the Titan, and he actually secretly hated her. I don't know. There's maybe an explanation in there somewhere. Because we literally got internal monologue from the sister where it was made evident that she wasn't in on the plan. So yeah. Though his sister didn't know, so maybe it's just Willy's father or something. Maybe. Shonen Jump seems unaffected, so Attack on Titan should be fine. Well, Shonen Jump is a massive thing. I can't believe that the NRL is the only sport in the world still going, and it's the only sport in the world I care about. Fuck yes, boys. Fuck yes. And it looks like even though the AFL just closed down, NRL's gone through. Fuck you. Saying, fuck you, virus. They're even talking about if a player gets it, they'll just quarantine the one player and keep fucking going, because the NRL has no money. No one cares about this, though. I just want Willy to be relevant to the story again. He's such a good meme. True! And I feel like there's unresolved things there. Regardless about my personal wants for Attack on Titan's ending, I hope an alternative ending is released where it's Isayama's original plan, dark ending where everyone dies, unless he's been trolling and hasn't changed his plan. Yes, we'll just have to see how it ends before we talk about him showing alternative endings. You can blur it out and get screenshots of chat. Chat's already on the screen. It doesn't matter. Oh, you're talking about blurring. I don't know. I'd probably just cut out the Full Metal Alchemist talk if it was going to be in an Attack on Titan fucking stream anyway. Too much work, though, yes. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see after I go back inside, and I'll see how much energy I want to put into this. Because if I don't do it tonight, I'm probably not going to do it. Just arguing about Attack on Titan on stream for X minutes, cut the me. Yeah, whatever. I would think about the title more than whatever I just said. Calm down. Oh yeah, you should bring up that nobody's considered a full rumbling until after Aaron announced it. I should make a video looking back on the Jägermaster plan and if I was right, and just pat myself on the back. That would be insane. I'll do that if fucking Willie Tybur is actually relevant. Then I'll make that video. But until then, though, you can do that thing I guess Rogers Base does, where he puts a faded image over the screen, showing the manga panels. I think Rogers Base just has a face cam, which is like the easy solution. Just show your face so people have something to look at. But fuck you. That's what I got to say. You'd think he would tell Willie where she is. You'd think he would tell Willie where she is. Huh. Aaron just jumps onto the audience. Yeah. Well, one of the big memes in the Jägermaster Plan video was Aaron knew where all of the important people were in the Mali military, and he killed all of them, which only serves to help Magarth have no rivals when he eventually rises to absolute power in Mali. So it's almost like him and Willie, because Willie even tells Magarth, or Magarth tells Willie that they put all of the important people on the edges, and the first thing Aaron attacks is the edges, and I was always like, But I don't know. If I'm half confident and half incredibly not confident in this Willie Tybur meme. Seeming like after Aaron ate Willie and didn't feel a reaction, he jumped to kill the shifter before they appeared. Once he realized it wasn't Willie, this is actually that's a good like counter possibility. But yes, I guess it could go either way. Fuck you, virus. If you quarantine, it wins. True. And we never... Not true, Twitch, don't ban me. Poor Casey Tron. Sad times. We never see thoughts from his sister. No, it's not thoughts. She talks to herself a little bit before she transforms. And she's clearly fighting against getting eaten. And if she was in on the plan, she would probably willingly get eaten by Aaron. Unless that was just like a thing. But then Aaron has an internal monologue where he has to figure out how to beat her. And he should have known already, and Willie probably should have told him. Unless he didn't know because he had never been the Titan and he had never known the weakness of the Titan. I don't know. That's probably a big hammer in our fucking beautiful theory. All your favorite NRL players will die. None of them will get it, alright? They're like in lockdown after and before games, right? And I don't think any of them will die. They got pretty good they're professional athletes. They're pretty fucking healthy. We never see thoughts from the sister. It would make sense if the Annie last words, Eren Yeager, was her putting on a show. Maybe. It is a pretty cringy line. It's very people putting on an act badly and obviously, but a lot of Attack on Titan dialogue is bad and obvious when it's not supposed to be them putting on a story on like a act. Since her words are funny. Or probably just Isama dialogue. True. Off topic, but are there any plans for a Pokemon Emerald streams? We were playing through Emerald. I don't know. We sort of backed off of that. We didn't even get a showdown game today, and I think we're already at 2 hours nearly. Theory debunked. Never. I will never lose hope. We got to do one showdown game before we leave. Willie definitely should have known about the shifter location being different. The shifter location being different. Well, I don't think the shifter location was ever known to anybody, because I don't think Magarth knew that Willie wasn't the shifter. I think he still suspected that he was. I guess mechanics do matter. Well, of course they matter in like how it works out. It doesn't matter in my enjoyment. Back to the video. No, but Willie should have known as a Tybur. Okay, I'm confused. What the fuck is my name? How the fuck do you spell entertainment? Don't look at my password, boys. Fuck you. Stop listening for the keystrokes. Stop it. We're doing one showdown battle. We must win. My Elo's been slipping and I haven't played. And about how the Warhammer Titan works, of course, yes. Restarting servers. Battle be... No! We can't showdown. They're restarting servers. Fuck you. You said it doesn't matter and you can't use mechanics to make predictions about where the story goes. Well, I'm saying mechanics don't matter because the theme more indicates how the story will go more than like the mechanics that could just be invented at any moment. If we're talking about like previous stuff, well then definitely matters because we know the context and things like that. So does anyone in chat have anything spicy to say before we leave? We definitely didn't talk about everything I wanted to talk about. I need a patron video for this month. What am I going to make a patron video out? It's nearly the end of the month and I haven't even fucking started yet. Willie Tyber, Confidence and Opinion, ad for Gross video. Man, this Gross video was great. I watched it today and I remembered like on the old channel it had nearly 1,000 views and it's sitting like at the very bottom of like 200 views here. And everyone should watch this fucking video because it is good. 7 minutes. Someone should post this on Reddit again. Someone who has a Reddit account that isn't mine, because I've posted it twice now, once on the old channel, once on this channel, I think, should fucking post this video on Reddit so everyone can get woke on fucking Gross. Someone do that for me, because it'll look weird if I do it again. And no one will know that I said this on stream. Unless I upload this to YouTube. I wonder if the YouTube audience had a big moment where I said, maybe I should upload this to YouTube. When they've been watching it on YouTube the entire time. What was the background there where it got rainbow for a second? What the fuck? Oh, it's the first Attack on Titan opening where it's like the weird flashes. I need a patron video for the month. I talked about that. Game of Thrones read through. I'm still in the same Jon chapter. I read like 3 pages the other night. I felt like it was progress. Jon just got to the wall and like is getting yelled at, and then they try to kill him. In the show, Tyrion stops them from killing Jon, like after their first practice session, but it's some other dude without an arm, I think, in the book. So that was different and that was cool. Show the updated Attack on Titan arguments, title and script. Everyone seemed to be fine with that. Full Metal Alchemist discussion, Father is not the father. We did that. The Endless Chess Dragon Ball video that I wanted to talk about. I talked about the Uncharted playthrough. I guess we can talk about the Endless Chess video in a second. What is chat saying about me trying to shamelessly advertise my shit? Coronavirus killed Showdown? Yay, never. Showdown will not die. How much of a Jaegerist vid have you done? That's literally it. I showed you everything. Nothing at all. Writing is the easiest thing. That's why on the Patreon, the $1 tier is going to be all bonus writing, because writing is easy. And writing it is like, yeah, easy. Since you limited it down, it must be more than before. I don't know. That's all I have. I just thought, I tried to think, what are the other arguments? Like, the Avengers coming together is bad, and, I can mold that into this. The only other argument that I couldn't put in this on the original video topic was Gabby did nothing wrong, and I can use that as, as a sample to do a structural thing, but I don't even know if I'm going to do that now. We'll have to see how it all turns out. Miller says, yeah, that video's great. One thing I never... Yes, it was Miller. So one of you fucking posted on Reddit. One thing I never understood is the second opening for Attack on Titan when it showed the Beast Titan running... Well, that's the third opening. Running next to dinosaurs and other animals. I think it was supposed to be like a subversion, to try and convince anime onlys that it is just a big monkey and it's not actually like a Titan shifter or something. But yeah, it's like a weird little imagery thing. Is that the video about Bulma being the main character? I forgot. It is! I'd never seen this video, and I watched it I guess it was probably the day after I last streamed, and I was like, this fucking video is incredible. Endless Jess is the best at this thing. Mr. Cynic Man is here. Okay. Still thinking of making a Dr. Stone vid? Well, I have to finish Dr. Stone, and I watched the 4 episodes and never did again. But yes, the Dr. Stone video is still something I want to make. It's just not going to happen, probably ever, because I'm fucking disjointed and out of nowhere. But Mr. Cynic Man, I don't think I've ever seen you in chat, so welcome. The Bulma main character one is great. Every stream we should talk about how to make the channel big time. Don't we talk about that every stream? So you want to address 126, or is that too hard to change people's mind on? Well, the thing is, my YouTube video for chapter 126 got pretty much all thumbs up. I think it's literally just Reddit, and literally just the Titanfolk subreddit that dislikes that chapter, and the people that sort of come from it. If you look at Roger's Base's video on that, he's positive about it, and all of the videos are upvotes. I think that was just a meme because literally it made all the Jaegers mad. I think that's it. Like the people saw it as a sign that Isayama was saying that Eren was bad, and they thought they've been arguing for years that Isayama was actually trying to say that Eren is good and he's completely justified in everything he's doing, and it was like a dose of reality to them. So they didn't actually hate the contents of the chapter. They just hated the fucking conclusion that they thought Isayama was drawing. And they're like, no, fuck you, Eren's good, bro, idiot. And then, because they had to eat shit from everyone that had been calling them morons for 2 fucking years. And that can't be fun. Final and correct theory, Eren wakes up and the whole story was just context to why he woke up crying. And it turns out he's a mentally unstable kid who went crazy, who has a crazy imagination. Yes, the dream theory of everything you've ever seen. Everything has a dream theory. Lol, no, Kyle, that opening was foreshadowing for Dino Titan Eren. Maybe. I didn't know JoJo was still here. I see people from the Tumblr fandom, they're anti-Eren. If they're pro-104th, they love Armin and Mikasa. If they're pro-Warriors, well, obviously they don't agree with Eren. Seeing that 126 was so bad. So I think that it's mostly a problem combined with people's expectations. I have not seen any Tumblr outrage. So, I don't know. Well, that search history. What was the search history? Where did you see the search history? Big titties. Oh, this is a song. David Starr. I was trying to see some David Starr stuff, trying to do research here. Big titties. I was gonna play this as the intro song. Fuck, that would have looked bad as fuck out of context. For the stream. If this is on the YouTube thing, it's a Rico Nasty song, but it's an Earth Gang feature, so it is good. There we go. But that was what that is about. Also, the Season 2 OP thing was showing every living thing, including humans, have something to dedicate their hearts to. Maybe. It doesn't really matter. That's the red glowy thing. Yes, it was all in their hearts. I still don't think that making him so monstrously is forcing dehumanization to make us see him as more evil, more losses of nuance. I don't think that at all. The nuance is literally the entire series up until this point. I don't think anyone hates Eren. I don't think he's evil either. I think he just saw it as the only solution, and he's stupid. Don't attribute to malice what can be attributed to stupidity. What's that thing called? The Occam's razor, I think. It's a fucking rhetorical technique or whatever the fuck. It shows an owl and even some small bacterial life form. Okay, it doesn't matter. Roger's base is a stan, whatever that means. No, he had negative opinions. It doesn't matter what Roger's base's opinions are. I'm not saying he thinks deeply about the story. Well, you don't have to think deeply about the story. He thinks Annie is a great character. Annie is a V tier character and maybe an A tier if you incorporate likability. Well, what would you judge it on besides likability? But I'm pretty sure Annie was still number 1 in our tier list. Roger's base is negative on One Piece from time to time. He's fine. Even if he wasn't negative, it doesn't matter. He liked it because a heap of characters came together. Yes, it should be like the most obvious, everyone came together. Everyone should be happy about this. Yeah, I finally managed to catch up to one of your streams. The Australia time difference always got in the way. Interesting. Where are you from, Mr. Cynic Man, I guess? Oh no, rip JoJo. Kyle loves Annie, by the way, JoJo. Loves is a strong word. I went to the shop fuel. I told you I was going to do this earlier because of coronavirus. What context? What are we talking about? I don't care. Kyle loves Annie. She's not that great of a character, especially in contrast to the other fantastic characters. Stop saying stuff. It doesn't matter, Kyle. What did I say? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I said. Doesn't matter. How about that? You're 15 minutes behind everything. The point JoJo made earlier was Roger's base liked 126 because he liked everything about Attack on Titan. I was trying to say that no, he has not liked chapters before. I think Roger's base just says whatever would get him the most likes, I think. And obviously, shitting on chapter 126 would not have gotten him the most likes. That's right, I was watching a bunch of wrestling videos on this account yesterday. Oh shit! New Peggy video's out. This series is weirdly told out of order and like a Tarantino movie, and I wonder what the fuck it's leading to. Just some weird Peggy shit, probably. Nothing. I never watched this fucking Earth Gang Jimmy Kimmel thing. Fuck, these videos are all great. How to Build a Relationship 4. I didn't know that he had an old song called that. I think we're way over the fucking time limit. We're nearly at 2:10. You fucking idiots got 10 extra minutes out of me. You should be paying for this shit. I agree with Kyle. Rogers' bass is uncritical. I don't know. I don't think everyone should be critical. I don't know. He doesn't put his views in the title or thumbnail. Yes, well, that's because he's big enough. He doesn't have to. He's going to get the most videos on Attack on Titan videos regardless. I mean, I guess, except Foxen, I think. But who gives a fuck about him? Yeah. I don't respect him or his opinions. He is shonen tard who couldn't get past episode 1 of Vinland Saga because yeah, but it was obvious. The people who tried to get Rogers Base to watch Vinland Saga were the dumbest people imaginable. It's like trying to get him to watch Berserk or something. Obviously, he's not going to like it. He literally does only like shonen because that's what he likes. There's nothing inherently... You saved him from watching that shitty fucking Vinland Saga anime. Everyone should be happy. Foxen makes bad videos, to be honest. Critical hot take from Jojo. How could one man have possibly come to this opinion that Foxen makes bad videos? Incredible opinions. He says he doesn't like gore. Of course, he wouldn't like Vinland Saga. Yes, he's like them. Like, doesn't he pride himself on wholesome? Like, he's dating a cosplay girl. And he like hates like talking about sex and things like that. It's like he's like inherently like we Disney. Like, that's part of his marketing of his channel. Of course, he's not gonna like fucking Vinland Saga. Attack on Titan is good in being a hook for the normies and teaching them why fascism is wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I have feelings about that, but whatever. He reads Attack on Titan, that gore excuse is bullshit. No, Attack on Titan is pretty fucking... Especially at the beginning, it's pretty shonen-y, and the gore is not that gruesome. Like, it's just humans eating people. Like, it's not, like, people getting, like, mowed down mercilessly and like, rape and things like that. Yeah, I agree, Jojo Miller says. Of course, he's not going to like fucking Vinland Saga. He's not going to like fucking at all. Yes. I can't believe Vinland Saga just skipped over that bullshit. Why did they cut Thorfinn and Gudrid fucking? What a disaster. God damn it, fucking Vinland Saga. This is why you're 3, and Attack on Titan is now number 2. What the fuck? And Jojo tells me to shut out. Showdown is restarted, by the way. We're doing one Showdown fucking game before we end. This is probably the longest stream we've ever done, and we're doing a Showdown game. If we upload this to YouTube, the Showdown game is staying in. I want to see if there's any Showdowners. Oh my god, fuck me. In the YouTube audience. Fuck. I don't want to fucking edit this shit up for YouTube, but it will get a bunch of fucking views. And it will, like... It'll be great. Mr. Stinkman, Ymir's children eating a corpse is pretty grim. I mean, like, the idea is grim. Fuck off, Jojo. We ain't verse... Oh, wait, is it not back on? I don't think it is. Yeah, fucking idiot. Lion Jojo and Lion Jojo. Lion fucking minty prick. Kyle is so deprived of sex that he criticizes everything he reads for lack of sex. No, it's because Berserk did it so well, and if you're not doing it, you're just worse than Berserk. And I'm searching for better than Berserk, alright? We need to find it eventually. I hear Vagabond has a good love story. I want to see penetration, though, or it is not good enough. Alright. I guess if we're doing the YouTube video, I should do a YouTube outro. So shut up. He had to make the Mikasa video where he called everyone virgins. This man fucks backs. Yes, only backs. The core part of the subtext of the Mikasa video was everyone that's complaining about this and thinks that Mikasa couldn't have changed Eren is obviously a virgin because they don't understand how it would change someone if Mikasa and Eren got laid. Like, obviously, this is... I mean, we are talking about anime and manga fans, most of which are teenagers, so it's not that... but yeah, chat is wild today. I get the subtext. Yeah, me and Minty have, like, talked about this before. But if we're doing a YouTube video, I should do a YouTube outro. So support links are in the description below. Goodbye, YouTube. I wonder if you're seeing this. If not, fuck you, I don't care. But support links in the description below. Subscribe so we can get back to that big... What is it? What was the number? 638. 638. We got to get to with subscribers. So I'll say it again. Support links in the description below. Thanks.